Okay, ladies, we are back. We are going to have an amazing panel of women coming to join me on stage. I'd like to have Tracy, Wanda, and Sherry on stage today, right now. Where are my awesome ladies? Come on up, ladies. So we're going to be talking about money. We're all in the money business of some sort. But what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to have each of these fabulous women introduce themselves, and I'd like you to each talk about when you first heard about SheEO, what you thought about it, and then why you ended up becoming in. Start with you, Wanda.
Sure. So I'm Wanda, Lyle. I'm the General Manager of UBS Business Solutions here, and delighted to be a sponsor today. I first heard about SheEO from my friend Sherry Deutschmann, who had an event in her home that was jam-packed with some of the most hard-charging women you'll ever meet. And we were delighted to see, I think, 3 different entrepreneurs present their products. And not only were they impressive, their products were products that were game changers for the population that they served, whether it was for people with physical disabilities or recycling and that sort of thing. So one of the reasons that it appealed to me personally was from that standpoint, but professionally, being in the financial services industry, our 2 main philanthropic focus are entrepreneurship and college access and success. But it's very difficult for us to engage our employees and our clients in entrepreneurship because of regulations around solicitation or selling away non-registered investments and the like. And what's beautiful about SheEO is that barrier, it goes away. So we have the opportunity, because of the way it's set up and it being a charitable contribution as opposed to an investment, to be able to be engaged with it in a more fulsome way and to introduce our clients to the opportunity as well.
Okay, Sherry.
I'm Sherry Deutschmann. I think most of you heard from me this morning about how I got involved with SheEO. I was a single mom living in Nashville, had to choose between paying the light bill or paying for childcare. So there were many times the first 2 years that I lived in Nashville that I did not have electricity, and started a company in my basement and built a lot of wealth for myself and changed lives for employees. So seeing the impact that entrepreneurship made on me, I really want to support other women having the same opportunity. And not just for ourselves, but because I think we do think differently and take care of our employees differently, and so we make a greater impact than some male-owned businesses do.
Hi, my name's Tracy Gray. I am the founder and managing partner of the 22 Fund, which is a growth equity fund. We invest in companies to increase their export capacity, meaning to sell internationally. We're a mission-driven fund. Our mission is job creation in underserved communities and low and moderate income communities. And we do that by investing in manufacturing, high-tech, deep tech manufacturing, and that's only because I was an engineer in my past life. I'm also the founder of We Are Enough, and Delilah mentioned she's co-founder and executive director, and We Are Enough is a nonprofit, and all we do is we teach and educate women how and why they can and should invest in women-owned businesses or with a gender lens on the public markets, and we're launching a global campaign sometime in the fall, and we mean global, to hit every woman to change the world in that way. And I'm an executive in residence at the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, so I advise companies on all aspects of their businesses. And the way I found out about SheEO is through Delilah. She was the LA activator, and she had her first event on a boat That was really good. It was fun to be on a boat, and Vicki was there. And I love telling the story because Vicki tells what she's doing with SheEO. What you don't know about me is that I was an engineer, I was in venture capital, I've been around men my entire career, and therefore I approach things as a man and an engineer, and that combination ain't good, right? So Vicki tells me what she's doing, and I'm like, you can't do what? You're not going to make any money. It's going to be a non. What the hell are you doing? It needs to make money. And then she was right. It worked out. So, I mean, I started crying on the boat, right? I was crying when I was like, oh my God, you're right. So then I was all in. So I was, the first year, because I was raising my own fund, someone sponsored me. So I didn't have the $1,100 to do it, believe it or not, and I was raising my own $100 million fund. But when you're raising your own fund or raising money for your company, you just don't have that money all the time. And then the next year I did it the first day. We did it the first day, and then I just call it the starter drug for investing in women. And I think that's what she calls it too. So that's how I got into it.
Awesome. So yesterday I was on a walk in Nashville. It was a gorgeous sunny day, and I happened to, as we all know, and I stumbled upon this extraordinary, there was literally a plaque on, we were in the 12 South area, which is super cool if you haven't been, and we were having our coffee, and I walked down, and there was a really beautiful, just like a plaque, and on it said these words, and I was like, this is so amazing, I can't believe this just happened. So it said on it, the most damaging phrase in the language is, we've always done it this way. I mean, how perfect for this setting for me to even say that right now. So what I'd like to do, because we're all currently in the system. I mean, Sherry's less in the system now. But, myself being in the capital markets, Wanda's, the biggest banks in the world, we're in the system. Tracy's in venture capital, which is part of the system. So how do we be that change from within these systems? Because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about completely changing the systems. And I have to tell you, it's hard. I mean, I work in the public markets. I work for a stock exchange that it's mostly men, and the way that even to get companies to go public, the way that companies pitch to investors, to shift that, but it's so critical because we have the power with all this capital that flows through the markets to really obviously be the game changer. And so I think about this every day. How do I start to shift with my job within the system I'm already in? So if we can maybe talk about that, and if we be controversial, be changing ideas of how do we really start to move the needle in this, because this is awesome, but we need so much more to meet those sustainable development goals.
So UBS, through our community affairs group, and I'm happy to say we have the head of the group here today, consciously or intentionally founded Project Entrepreneur. And Project Entrepreneur was specifically geared to women and people of color to give them an equal opportunity to have access to funding for their businesses. And through that project, we have had, I'm looking at statistics because they're not mine. Over the past 3 years, they've had a venture competition, education and training events, an accelerator program, and have had training sessions for over 1,600 early stage startups founded by women across the country. And so I think, we clearly realize the value of entrepreneurship broadly, but also of the importance of having everyone with good ideas and talent to have an opportunity to see those ideas come to fruition. And so we've put these programs in place. We look for other opportunities like sponsoring this today so that we can continue to identify ways to help entrepreneurs. We also underwrite a diversity scholars program, and it's specifically, geared to not just giving money, although we do give financial support, but introducing them to people, helping make connections, providing mentoring, and building relationships and making connections. And so, while I hate buzzwords, I think it is. You do have to be intentional, and I am very proud of UBS for intentionally taking that opportunity and trying to grow it for people of color and women.
My goal in being in venture capital, I entered venture capital in 1999, and the numbers for the amount of capital going to women have literally not changed. 1999, there were 10% of the venture capitalists were women, and women were receiving 3%. So I lied, it has changed. We are now 6% of women, venture capitalists are women, and we are getting 2.2%. And if you're a woman of color, you're getting below 0.1%. So, which, as I said, I'm an engineer, math, statistics. This is statistically impossible to happen organically with all the numbers of the fastest growing businesses coming on are women. Women of color are even faster. Black women are the fastest growth rate and the most educated, yet get like a pittance of the money. So this is happening inorganically, and it's not unconscious bias, oh, I'm unconscious, I can't help it. No, this is conscious bias keeping all of us out. So I don't want to create a new lane on that same highway. I want a new highway, or whatever you want to call it, an internet. And my goal is to bring more women and people of color into the tech and wealth ecosystem. Like, we can't have where all this wealth is being built only for white men, which Business 101, that's a shrinking market. How many of us invest in a shrinking market? No one. So I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm a very logical engineer, once again, and it just doesn't make sense. So for me, I also want to make sure that when people are checking off their diversity check, it's not all white women, right? So that's what's happening. People are going, oh, look, we're done, but I'm like, okay, if it's white women and white men, it's all white people still. It's not diverse. So I want to make sure that I bring that up wherever I am, that you're not done because you have a woman. And a matter of fact, I think I got my first funder in my fund because I was on a panel. Were you on that panel with me, Vicki? Yeah. And I said, look around, and you are all investors, look at your portfolio. Is it all white women that you've invested in? And afterwards, she came up to me and said, it's all white women. And I was like, okay. And then she said, I want to invest in you. But as a woman, as I am, like, she's not going to invest in me after I said that. I didn't believe it. And people at the conference kept saying, Colleen's going to invest in you. And I still didn't believe it. Because I'm a woman, I don't believe someone's just going to invest because I said something like that. And then finally, Vicki said to me and said, no, if she says she's going to do this, she's not bullshitting. She's like, I'm sorry. She's not, I don't even know what the word for I don't know what else she said. Anyway, and she did. So I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm saying that I wanted to change the system kind of from within, but I want to create a whole new one for us to play in. Because as Vicki always says, this system is working really well for the people who created it. Yeah. And it's not us. So.
Tracy, yeah, great. Tracy, I'd like to follow up on that because one of the things, there's an article that's on the application that's Own Your Own Worth, and there was a couple of brochures on your table. And I think you raise a good point, but I think we overlook the opportunity that as women we have because of the level of wealth that is controlled or will be controlled by women. And if women support women and look at their opportunities for investing with women, there's the opportunity for us. Because it's an enormous amount of money and it's an enormous opportunity for us. And I think we need to just keep pointing that out. It's not just men holding back women. It is women not thinking about supporting and investing in women.
When Tracy created We Are Enough, the name is called We Are Enough for that reason. So we already have enough. So that number that Juan is talking about is about $12 trillion in the US that women either control or influence of investable assets. And so part of our campaign, the initiative is around Because as women, we don't naturally say, oh, I'm an investor. Like, that's not a natural badge that I wear. And even though we all are, we all certainly have the potential. Or we often hear women say, I don't have enough money to be an investor. And so we're going to blow that whole myth out of the water with our campaign, because there are so many extraordinary vehicles and structures today that you can invest in women or with a gender lens in the public market for as little as $10. There's an app that you can download that you can start investing toward gender equality companies. And so there's no reason for any of us not to be part of it. And that's, in my mind, what's super exciting, and the opportunity to create this global mindset shift that we're all investors. And it's all relative to us in terms of the money we have, but there's something we can all do, and that will have a huge multiplier effect. Sherry?
I think one of the things that I would like to see done at the very basic level is change some of the languaging, because I think it shuts out a lot of entrepreneurs. I was an entrepreneur and didn't know the word. And so I did not know all the resources that were available to me. And I did not know the difference between private equity and venture capital and angel investing and bootstrapping. I didn't know what those were. And so we need to teach women all the potential, all the possibilities for funding their businesses, and let them and help them choose the one that's right for them. And too often we don't know, and we make the wrong choices, and we're screwed.
Yeah.
Can I say that? I did.
Yeah. I said bullshit, so
Okay.
I think you can say
I didn't say the F word. Good.
So Sherry, can I ask you, so you're an angel investor, Sherry, and so I'm assuming that often you will co-invest with other angel investors, and never?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Okay. So, because what I was going to ask you about was, when we're angel investing or we're investing alongside other people, is helping to educate those people who don't necessarily invest, in this case, in women entrepreneurs. So so in this country, still only about 17% of angel investment goes toward women. And so the opportunity that whenever we're in the room, all of us with investors who are men, again, the education is there's so much, but again, it's illogical, because again, statistically, I don't know if everybody knows this, but statistically it's been proven that women entrepreneurs or women-led teams outperform male-only teams on every measure of profitability. So again, it's illogical. It doesn't make any sense why the men still aren't investing in women entrepreneurs. I mean, it literally makes no sense. And so there's this dual track that we have of trying to create new systems and creating pioneering opportunities like SheEO. But those of us who are still in this system, how do we bring more investors to it? How do we bring more education around not just the benefits of investing in women, but just the profitability of it?
Is that a question?
Any thoughts on that? Yeah.
I'll use your
Sorry.
mic.
Oh, geez. I think from what Wanda was saying, a key of what Wanda said is we are going to control most of the money in the world. Women are going to control most of the money. And 90% of our capital goes to our family and our friends. And men, it's 30%. And what are they doing with the rest of it? Well, I don't want to think about it, but I'm sure they're investing in each other in some way. So I think activating all of us to invest in each other and have the confidence to do it. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, I can't invest. I don't know how to do that. I don't know the words. I don't know what to do. But it's not that. It's not rocket science. And I worked on the space shuttle, so I know what rocket science is. It's not. And so there are ways to do this. As Delilah said, there's from $10 to $10 million. There are ways you can do that. And we will be, that's our campaign to educate you on doing that. But just know, and Delilah came up there, we have enough now to do that. There's not much more you need to do. You don't need to get an MBA. You don't need to get all those finance letters, series 7s and 10s and everything. You can do it, and that's what, it's a confidence thing that we need. You're rushing over here like there's, okay. Okay.
I want us to be loud and vocal too when we've made a great investment in a company that's doing the right things and growing, and then as we have successes, be really loud and vocal about that and not modest. I invested in a company called Tomboy X. I'm so excited about them, and if y'all know their products, they're awesome.
LA based.
They just made number 243 on the Inc. 500 list. So I want you to know about it and look at their website today.
So I would say too, we need to go down to talking about women and understanding about investing. You know, I'm not just pitching the article, but I think the article is helpful. The first thing you have to do is know what you're worth and know what you control and what you can do for yourself. And then the next step is what you can do for other people and how you can use the power of that wealth and that knowledge to invest where you think it's the right thing to do, that has the right impact, that has the right owner doing the things that you believe in.
And I want to underscore that we really do need this money going toward women. If you think that loans are going to solve the problem, we only get 4% of all commercial loans. Even though we pay them back sooner, our loan loss is less, and they charge us higher interest rates. And then if you look at philanthropy, where people think that's going to save the world, we only get 7% of all philanthropic dollars go to women and girls. If you're a woman and girl of color, it's 1%. So we really have to activate and take control of the money. We already control most of it. We just got to direct it to the right places. And I'm just going to keep underscoring that because all of you can do it. You can do it tomorrow. You can do it right now. And then, like you said, we all can be kind of modest about our achievements. I do it all the time. I don't think I've done what I need to do yet. But when you have a big win, you should tell all of us, and then we need to keep saying this so that it becomes in the zeitgeist, not just Me Too and Time's Up and us being victims by men behaving badly. Those are all very important, but I want to change that dialogue that's out there that we are actually succeeding in business and entrepreneurship and whatever else we're doing, but we really have to keep amplifying it. And SheEO is literally doing that around the world. Every time it's like some new continent that she's on doing something, and this is a great place to start. And I'm so glad that new platform is going to be up now, because that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to change the world. And one more comment. Those Sustainable Development Goals that they listed, the first 5 are impacted the greatest when women have more wealth. The first 5. So we not only solve our wallet problem, we change the world.
Yeah, thank you. We're just about out of time, but so I just want to end on that with an equally impassioned plea around this. I mean, it's literally up to us, ladies. I mean, I think we can just, at this point, agree on that. That it's up to us. We have everything we need. It's not as complicated as you think. But I also just want to thank you, because you're already doing it. You're already here. You're already part of a game-changing movement, and you're surrounded by women who are going to support each other to do this. So please, keep any of the inspiration that you have already and take this to all of your sisters, because we literally, it's up to us, but we are going to do this, I have no doubt. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.